Hey, welcome back to the channel. I didn't have enough time yesterday to do the transmission fluid on the Suburban. I had to hurry up, get the tires put on, and get my kid from school. But today, it's the next day. It is Wednesday. We're going to go ahead and drop the pan, see what it looks like, put a new filter, and fill it back up with some fluid. So let's do a transmission fluid change on a 4L80. So if you got a 2-post lift, you know it's a used screw jacks when it's way high up in the air because the center post is like a pivot point when you have it up in the air. This Suburban weighs about 7,500 to 8,000 pounds, 10,000 pound lift, so it's plenty good for picking it up. But I just want to make sure that, when I push on it, it doesn't rock. So I at least like to stabilize underneath it with something. That way when I'm using the wrench on this transmission under here, when I go to service it, it doesn't rock on me and all that stuff. So here's the 4L80's pan. We just did the oil change yesterday. I don't have any new oil or anything dripping out, so that's cool. It does have a rear main seal leak. I'll address that later when I put the twin turbos on it. But for now, let's go ahead and service this 4L80. I don't know when it's been serviced last. And go ahead and zip off these bolts. They're 10 millimeter. Got 10 millimeters all the way around. And I'm going to do the back last so I can get this to like tilt down this way and catch all the oil off of this or this corner here. Yeah, this is a shallower corner. That's a deeper corner. So I'm going to tilt it to this corner. And also there's a flat spot right here. So I can make this whole pan hinge from this corner down this way and catch the drip from there. That'll minimize the mess. So I got my pan and I got my drill to make it a little easier to take everything apart with. I even have a light on this thing. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. All right. There we go. It was supposed to come off the other corner. But it's draining now. Missed the bucket a little bit. You would think there'd be a better way to drain transmission. That's what anybody ever services messing the pan or butt. Alright, this is what I'm looking at next. So the wrong side of the pan came down. I got all these bolts out. All the ones under here. Now I just have these ones like there's this cross member and there's bolts back up in there. So I can't get those with the ratchet or the impact. I'm going to use a regular old ratchet. Let's get up in there now. Man, this thing is on way too tight. But it's not leaking. Well, enough there's RTV on it and not want to pull it down. All right, let me go grab a 10 millimeter ratchet wrench and see if I can fit that up in there to take off the back of the pan. So I got my extension, 3-inch with a swivel and a 3/8 socket. See if I can at least sneak this up in there to get the back off, or at least this one. Swivel. I ain't got nothing on it. All right. Channel's called Modified. I might have to modify this just to service my transmission. Man, you want to talk about ridiculous. Drill a 1/2 inch hole in the transmission mount itself, there's a hole right here. It's directly below it. And I just can't get my socket through that hole. It stops right at the square part. And then I got another bolt right here, which is kind of just on top of the other hole. All right, plan B. Bust out a 1/2-inch drill and modify my factory mount so I can take the damn pan off. Be right back. I'm about to make my life a whole lot easier. So the problem I got getting this pan off, there's a bolt here, another one, can't get the camera in there, right here. But under this mount that's in my way, I got a clear shot through that hole and this hole. I'm gonna go and drill them out so I can run my extension through it. Seems like a good idea to me. Make my life easier. Let's drill it. Modified. It's gotta modify something. If you ever come across a used truck and this is drilled out, well, now you know why. Yeah, right up, right up. I can grab a 6-inch extension. I'll be able to hit them back bolts a whole lot easier now. So I'm gonna have to run my extension up through this hole. And I just found my 1/2-inch, I'll bend it out a little better. So then I can put my socket on after I get the extension through. And then I can put my socket wrench on. And then is this one right? Put that through. Put the extension on. There we go. That one's off a little bit. That one's off about like 3/4 of an inch. And this one, I need to drill it back a little bit more. But that's the ticket. Ain't no way else I'm gonna be able to get that through there. All right, so I took our trip down to the freight harbor and got me a step bit and some spray lube so I can finish drilling this hole out. Arguing out with the 1/2-inch, just different angles is not getting big enough to get me on the correct angle to get to these back 2 bolts on this transmission pan. At this point, probably could have saved some time and just undone the bolts on the frame and pulled the whole thing out and supported the transmission with a jack stand or something and gotten this pan off. But I'm stubborn, so I'm gonna go ahead and drill what I've started bigger with these step bits and see if I can get the extensions in there straight onto the head of the bolt so I don't strip them. All right, so I got my drill and my step bit. They had 2 sizes in the package and I ain't playing around. I'm just gonna go ahead and go big or go home, right? So let's put this in here. Let's make a hole bigger. So like I was showing y'all before, I got the hole to where they're right. Let's see if I can shine the light better this way. You can see the bolts. So we can't get the light to. The bolt's like right. Where's my finger? The bolt's like right behind my finger right here. So in order to be able to get to them straight, I'm gonna go ahead and hog these things out a little bit better with the step bit. That way I'll be able to get to the trans bolts a whole lot better. Let's see. Through pretty good. And I got my hole big enough to where you can see. Hey, yeah, the bolt's pretty much straight through now. So, after all that, let's see if I can break this bolt loose. And for some reason, there it goes. These were like the most stuck transmission hand bolts I've ever taken off in my life. There's not even enough room for the socket, really. There it is. You know, it's always that one bolt. Here's that one bolt. All right, let's get the other back one out and drop this pan and finally get to this filter. I've been working on this since 10 o'clock. It's like, what, 4 or 5 now? 5 hours to drill 2 holes in a cross-member fight with 2 bolts. This is ridiculous. Here. Oh, it's a beast of a truck. Don't get me wrong. All right, go in my last little hole, and hopefully all the stuff will drain out the front up here and not cover me in fluid. The whole purpose is to catch all these last bolt and it comes down. This one was drilled perfect right underneath it. The other one had to waddle out a little bit more. There it is. Try the other socket. It's not as fresh as this one. Let's see. Alright, because when I drop this down, this pan's really gonna start coming. There we go. Hold it. Yeah, I don't know why there's no more fluid coming out the net. It was right on the end of the stick. And it's been off since 10 o'clock this morning. Oh, there it went. Yeah, hand me that extension. I'm gonna put this on the table. That's it. All day. It's loose. Now let's try to get it out. Or at least, there we go. At least to drain some. It's still red. It's not too bad. Hey, that was a cork gasket, dude. That thing was like rock hard. All right, y'all gonna see it before I do. Oh, the pan's clean. Nice. All right. Well, hard part's done. No, that's like a rubber metal gasket, dude. This thing here, dude, that's like legit. I wonder if that's reusable.
Yeah, that thing's cool.
That is like, yeah, that's a freaking metal gasket. I don't even know. I'll have to ask. I have to call my buddy, the transmission guru.
You seeing all the inside? Let me take this real quick. Yeah, it's cool seeing it all out.
Yeah, dude, I got no shavings, no big metal particles. The magnet's still pretty clean.
Yeah, you barely got anything on it.
Yeah. I'm happy with it.
All right.
I could see a little bit of stuff up in the filter. Before I move this pan, pull the filter down. You should just pull. A little wiggle and come right out. Yeah.
Yep, there it goes.
There it goes. Yeah,
That was a dark red.
Yeah, it's dark. Or at least it's red. Yeah, no, it was time. Cool. Well, instead of screwing around with it, I'm gonna go ahead and knock the pan back straight, put the new filter on it, and let it rip.
No.
All right, so I went down to the Zone Auto and I picked up a new filter. See what comes in the box. Yeah, same filter. This time it's nice and clean. It's not black in there. And a nice rubber gasket. That's a wrap. So we can go ahead and put it back together. The magnet here, I believe the magnet goes there. It's usually where the indentation shows it to go. And I saw the filter was sucking from somewhere around here. So let me Google proper magnet placement on a 4L80E, and I'll see if it goes in that little hole or not, and I'll be sure to let y'all know. All right, so the magnet does go right here in the designated hole for it to go. They had it here for whatever reason, but at least when it's elevated, it can trap stuff above and beneath it. So that's in the right place. When you go to put your gasket on, the bolts kind of mushroom the holes up, and you run your finger across and you can feel it grabs your finger. It's not smooth. So what it's going to do is take the next gasket and crimp it everywhere there's a screw hole. It might not seal. So I got this old school little ball peen hammer. Just kind of stick it over where it goes. And I grab my dead blow and give it a tap. I got to do it on the corner of the table. So I just take the hammer. You don't ever want to hit a hammer metal on metal, but you can do plastic. Just give it a peck. And it really puts the pan right back where it's supposed to go. Right. So now, when the pan is dimpled the correct direction, it pushes up evenly on your gasket. All right, shoving this back underneath the truck, so I don't have to hold the pan. This is clean. Set it down right here. You can see it sucks from this corner, which is right past where the magnet is. So what I'd usually do to hold the pan gasket straight, this rubber gasket will hold these screws. So you can kind of start a couple of them. And that way your pan gasket, you're not fighting it. And it goes up straight. Just kind of do your four corners. Then when you put the rest of them in, they'll line up just about right.
And the base to go off there.
So we're good. Fit the filter up in here. It just pushes in. They give you a replacement gasket, but man, this one's tight enough. I see the point in changing something. Is it broken? Make sure it's in there as far as it can go, so you don't have any suction issues. I can push that in another little 1/4 inch. That way this is off the bottom of the pan. It's got these little feet, but more flow is more flow.
More flow, the better.
Yep. So I'm hoping this kind of calms down that initial shudder when it takes off. Yeah, that's as far as it's going in there. All right, putting the pan up. Plate the back end first.
Heat shield.
Oh, yeah, heat shield. All right. Yeah, once it goes around the heat shield.
Yeah, you good.
That's a wrap. It's up in there. Threaded. Yep.
You have to fight it at all or no?
Yeah, you just turn it a couple times and it finds out where it's got to go.
Don't cross thread, because if you're fighting it, you cross thread.
Exactly. So we'll just go ahead and pull the rest of these bolts in where they go. Torque them down, fill it up with fluid. Catch on the top side. All right, well, I got all the pan bolts in, torqued down to 8 foot-pounds like they suggest, and all this like dark on the exhaust from the transmission fluid dripping down. I'm just gonna kind of dry it up with some brake parts cleaner. The bottom of the pan. So I got a fresh oil change, fresh transmission fluid change, and a new to me set of tires. Good to go. All right, we're gonna drop it down to the ground, fill up with fluid. I don't like how the taller tires lifted it back up when I dropped it, but I do like how it rides, and I'm probably gonna love what it does on the interstate. Okay. So, got this lube guard, synthetic protectant, restores performance, high mileage, 170,000 miles is kind of high. Anti-wear, didn't have any shifting problems. It had a little shudder when you came off of idle, and reduce the slippage. Hey, look at that. So this lube guard, they do some good stuff. Not sponsored. I wish I could get a sponsor, that'd be great. All right, so let's pour the lube guard in. My double oil filter is working. It's not coming out the bottom one just yet. Oh, close, but it didn't. All right, grabbing a gallon of red right there. It's 05, requires deck 6, so that's what we're putting in it.
Full synthetic.
And now the dogs start barking. So I'm gonna mute this while I pour. We are just at the bottom of the stick, so I'm gonna throw another 2 quarts in it, put 6 quarts. I think that's gonna be right. All right, show that. Running a full on. I'll take it. All right, y'all, that's gonna do it for Modified this week. We do one every Friday. That was the pain in the ass transmission rear 2 bolts on the 480 on the 05 Suburban 3/4 ton 4x4 8.1 liter. Appreciate y'all liking it.
Thank y'all for hitting the subscribe button. Keep it going. We just reached 338. 338 of y'all. That's amazing. Keep it going.
Look, I appreciate every one of y'all that presses that button. It's great. We do a big one every Friday, and I try to do some little shorts in between. So thank y'all for watching Modified. This was my pain in the butt transmission pan, fluid and filter change on an 05 Suburban 4x4 with an 8.1 in it. 480 transmission. Catch y'all next Friday. I'm out. Oh yeah.